Here we go. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky here with TechBuds Solutions, or TechBuds Solutions. We're here at the TechBuds Trading HQ. We're waiting, pretty much just watching. I'll be sharing my screen on and off, pretty much waiting for this like Bitcoin ETF approval process. Right now, I'm personally watching myself coin as it tests and holds above the moving average. Can you guys see the live stream okay? Okay. But yeah, wanted to go live, wanted to answer some beginner Q&As. I have some questions that were asked on Instagram, but I also wanted to make sure that I answer any questions that you guys have. And if you guys have any questions during this live, again, all you literally have to do is be subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you should be able to partake on that live chat that you either see on the right-hand side of your computer or right below this video. If you're on mobile, it should pop up with a little live chat, and you are able to participate and ask any questions, especially if you're just getting into the market. Just make sure that you're subscribed, and then it will grant you permission to participate in that live chat. So hopefully we earn your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any further questions after this Q&A, shoot me a direct message via Discord or via Instagram, which is the first or third link in the description down below. But right now, let me go ahead and show you. I should be able to start showing my screen. We got coin. Coin is down 0.40%, testing the moving average and anticipating the news from the SEC if this Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved or rejected. So the overall trading activity, I mean, right when the market opened, we gapped up. We sold off pretty hard to new lows of 143. I haven't seen it hit lows of 143 in quite some time. I know we hit lows of 144 previously, but today we made new lows. It showed that the market was, in my opinion, pretty weak, but I think it's because of what happened yesterday with the SEC getting hacked. We sold off, we established the support, and boy, did the market recover for coin. We went from lows of 143 to all the way to highs of 151, and then worked our way up to highs of 153, and now pretty much just consolidating as we wait for the news. There's about an hour and a half until the market closes. We don't know. We don't know when exactly this news is going to be released. It's supposedly going to be anywhere around 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, but it could even be as late as 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is pretty unfortunate. But let me go. Can you guys see the live okay? Okay, sweet. For those that are a little bit newer to our videos, my name is Ricky. This is Jake, Justin, Brandon, and then we have Ismail. It's another voice that you might hear in the background laughing or giggling. But let me go ahead and share this. Give me one quick second. Okay. Wow. Let's see. One sec. Okay. All right, we still got coin above 151.53. Still holding above the moving average, waiting for the confirmation of this thing breaking below that moving average and seeing if we can begin to show signs of some progress. Here we go. Can we make sure that it shows, it should show public on your side, right? I'll double check on my side.
I don't think it was public.
Okay, it's fine now. I didn't save the settings on my side. That was my bad. Okay. I wanted to answer, Okay, I wanted to answer a couple of questions that we got via Instagram. And again, if you guys have any questions that you guys would like to ask me, just make sure that you share that in that live chat, and I'd be more than happy to answer it for you. Let's go ahead and get this started. So one of the first questions, and again, it doesn't have to be trading related. It can, but it definitely does not have to. So it looks like right now coin is testing the moving average. I'm going to go back to full screen, and if it comes down to answering any questions about the market or a specific stock, then I'll go back and share my screen. But very, very quickly, let me go ahead and pull this up. So one of the first questions that I got asked, again, this is, I don't even know if I want to start off with this one. Should I start off with the one that I told you guys about the? No, we'll do that one later. Yeah,
like a third or fourth
yeah, that's a third or fourth question for sure. So is TechBuds hiring? We are looking for 2 specific positions, and you guys can just message us on Instagram. You do have to be in Arizona. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. So if you're not in Arizona, again, it's just not going to work out. But there's 2 main positions that we're looking for. The first one is someone that's going to be like our full-time content kind of like manager, creator. You're pretty much going to be working on filming and editing videos and pictures. So that's the first position that we would like to fill. The second position is someone to help out with TechBuds Apparel for pretty much either packaging orders and fulfilling orders on the TechBuds Apparel side of things. So it doesn't matter what age it is that you are. Obviously, if you're 18 plus, that's going to be recommended. But if you're in Arizona, if you're looking either for your first job or you have some experience in something that we just talked about, send me a direct message right now via Instagram, and we would be more than happy to explore the idea of you potentially joining our team as soon as possible, right? So hopefully that answers that question. So how much is enough capital to start trading and investing in stocks with? So first off, I think that's the part that a lot of people get confused. Trading and investing are 2 very completely different things. I mean, they both partake in, it's kind of like investing in real estate and then flipping properties, right? When it comes down to flipping properties, I would say that the traditional house flipper normally needs much more money to make much more money, right? When it comes down to investing in real estate, not as much, because of the approach that you have of the intention is long-term gains, right? When it comes down to trading or investing in real estate, trading is obviously there's swing trading or day trading, buying and selling the same stock within the same day or over a period of time. I would say to learn how to do it, that's the part that, again, I feel like a lot of people overlook. How much money is enough? I would say I would rather have someone start with around $1,000 or less. And the reason that I say this is we had a great conversation during today's live trading session with the LPP team, and it talked about failing fast and failing forward. I wish it was something when I first got started, even before trading. I wish, as I was like a little kid, I wish it was more of a common practice to teach people or teach kids how to fail. And that it doesn't define you as a loser. But again, if you think about any successful person, how many times do they fail before they experience their form of success? And that's the type of encouragement that I want to have when it comes down to trading. If you're learning how to do anything and you want to learn how to do it right, you have to not be afraid to fail. And therefore, obviously, when you're trading in the market, failing means potentially losing money. And this is why I say start small, size down, with enough money that you take it seriously, but not so much money that if you do take a loss, that it discourages you. You shouldn't be afraid to fail. You shouldn't be afraid to try and test new things, but it is going to cost you money, obviously, when you're trading with real money. So this is why we talk about sizing down. So I would say $1,000 or less, or even paper trading, is enough money to start learning how to trade as a complete beginner. When it comes down to investing, I think that there's no minimum requirement to start investing. You can have $50, $100. The whole idea is to start getting money into the market, dollar cost averaging into whatever stocks or ETFs you see value in long term, and over a period of time to be able to amass like a much larger amount of capital. And that can be done over a period of time, but I would rather someone start early with a very small amount to at least get them going than to never start and always prolong it of maybe I'll start when I have 5,000 or 10,000. There's never a perfect time to invest. And again, that's the big difference. When it comes down to investing, it's not about timing the market, it's about being invested. When it comes down to trading, it is about timing the market, which again is I think one of the big differences. So hopefully that answers that question. Do you have a position in PLTR for the long term? No. So that's Palantir, right? Which is Peter Thiel's company, PLTR. If I'm not mistaken, That company was performing really, really poorly. Oh, okay. So it's had an amazing bounce back. Wow. No, I have not been watching this at all, as you can tell by my reaction of it. It was aggressively selling off, and the last time that I remember about, looking into this, it was trading around like, the sub $10 category. But now, obviously, it's trading around $15. It hit recent highs of $21. This just isn't something that I personally follow myself. It looks like on the 4-hour time frame, after this really strong rally, we're holding above the moving average. It has this ascending support. It looks like it's getting ready for a potential reversal. I see why you're paying attention to it, but again, I like to keep my trading simple, or in this sense, it's you're investing, right? And when it comes down to my investments, I have a total of 6 companies that I'm invested in. That doesn't include any ETFs. And these 6 companies are pretty much companies that are part of the ETFs that I'm invested in, which is QQQ and SPY, right? Which is the NASDAQ and S&P 500. So other than that, I don't like to stray away from that. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't, because if you see huge potential in Palantir, or again, a very common one that I get asked about is like Rivian or Lucid, the up and coming EV companies, I can see why you want to invest into those early on. My long-term portfolio is the safest and the greatest, and that's all I focus on. I don't overcomplicate it, and I don't stray away from that. It's just my bread and butter, and I stick to it. But I can see why you're paying attention to this. The question would be, I'm just not sold on the idea that this thing has to continue to rally because of how bearish it was. I mean, that just is really scary when it goes from highs of $30 a share to lows of $6 a share, or $5.84. That is very daunting to me, that if it breaks below that EMA, can it continue to sell off once again? A question to ask yourself. You can't always just think about the upside potential, but also take into consideration the downside risk. So it looks like coin is beginning to show signs of a support, breaking back above that moving average. Okay. All right. This was I wanted to answer this question very quickly because, again, it doesn't have to be trading related. So I wanted to answer this question. We thought it was interesting because it's super, super different. And this time, it's not going to be me answering. We're going to have the people around us answering this question as well. So hopefully you guys could hear them okay. All right.
Hopefully this is a good question.
So it says, bro, how do I get a girlfriend? This life is torture. Every girl I ask at the gym is taken. So first, you guys can let me know in the live chat what you think about that question. And I'm going to answer this question super, super simple. They're going to expand on it because we quickly talked about it.
Speak.
I don't want it to be too deep, but if this life is torture without a girl, I think that you need to first put yourself in a position where you're happy being your own self, and then you can find someone that can compliment you. These guys have much funnier answers, which I do agree with as well. Do you guys? And it looks like people agree in the live chat. What's your question? What's your answer to that?
I'm single, so I have no.
No, but okay. How about this?
Pardon on that.
What do you think about someone going up to girls at the gym?
Probably not the best place to start at. First off, you're probably all sweaty and shit if you're actually at the gym working out.
Yeah.
So it's probably not the best place just based on that. But
They're trying to just work out.
You guys need to speak up because this microphone has to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to touch on that.
What do you think, Justin?
I think it's a really bad place to try to make conversation unless you're the biggest dude in the gym.
I agree. I think that if you're like an absolute stud, you're respectful
that's
to a point where you could come off not creepy.
Right.
That could be something.
Right. But the thing is like one thing to think about is
I think there's a time and a place for everything.
It's the setting because at the gym, your best odds are not going to be when she's focusing on what she's working out. You know what I mean? But she's out getting drinks or somewhere else, like a library or at the line Chipotle, random places. Yeah, just random places, right? That's where you might have a better chance of like her opening up to you for you to try to get her number or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking from experience?
Chips?
Yeah.
I just don't think it's the right
Chip
place.
said that it's a weird place.
It's not the right place, right time.
Okay. We have a handful of people saying that desperate time calls for desperate measures. Can't get a chick.
Dan said, I don't
go
know where
for
else
it, dude,
to find
no.
fit girls, though.
What was that?
Dan said, I don't know where else to find fit girls, though.
Okay.
It's a fair argument.
Fair reply.
Well, yeah.
Okay, well, Dan is actually the one that asked the question, if I'm not mistaken. So I just only go to the gym. And I think that...
that's your issue, dude. You got to get out and about. You got to go to places where you can
I feel like
meet people.
I've seen too many videos about girls complaining about getting hit on at the gym that it really discourages people.
For sure.
From when you are in that environment to probably just not hit on girls or anyone at that environment. So...
Because lots of guys are creepy at the gym already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. You get Brandon. You had a handful of questions, right, that you thought would be good to answer. So let me go ahead and I kind of like them. So one of the questions that he thought was good is, what are your top vacations and locations to visit? I have to say, just based off of my recent trip, Costa Rica. First off, it wasn't until this year and last year that I started hearing about people often visiting Costa Rica. Maybe it's just I became more aware of it, but I never heard of people wanting to visit Costa Rica. Costa Rica is now one of my favorite places that I've ever visited. It wasn't very expensive. I went to Liberia, Costa Rica. The people were it almost seemed fake. They were so friendly. I kept bringing this up to the people that we traveled with. It almost seemed fake. It's like when you go to like Chick-fil-A and everyone just says "my pleasure," you're like, is this like a skit, right? But just now imagine an entire area or country off of that same kind of like energy. So I love the weather, the people, the food, the environment. I felt safe enough. Honestly, I felt maybe a little bit safer there than I normally do like in Mexico, right? So we would visit Tulum and Cancun pretty often. I felt significantly safer in Costa Rica than I did in Tulum, right? If you've ever traveled to Mexico, again, I love traveling to Mexico, but you often get offered by taxi drivers and by everyone there, all the locals, do you want drugs? Do you all this different kind of stuff. Never got offered that, not once in Costa Rica. And I would have to say Costa Rica is my top 2, if not top 3 favorite places that I've visited. And I really fell in love with like the whole culture thing over there, to the point where it's like kind of getting me to open up to the idea of potentially buying something over there. Obviously, I've only been there once, so I can't determine a big decision like that off of one trip. But trust me, I'm really tempted. All right. Let's see. So, are you buying any crypto right now? No. That's just my simple answer. Just a heads up also, there's a bunch of fake accounts of me on Instagram, on literally every platform that will pretend to be me and that will talk to you about investing or trading crypto for you. I don't do any of that. The only reason that we're paying attention to Bitcoin right now is because of this Bitcoin ETF that is pending approval. Other than that, you'll never hear me talk about it. You'll never see me trade it because I don't do it, right? It's just not something that I do. It's not something that I like to encourage. If you want to invest in any crypto or Bitcoin yourself, all power to you. I wish you nothing but the best. I think there's many different ways on how to make money. And if that's the way that you choose to pursue, great, all power to you. Other than that, it's not something that I personally like to encourage others to do, as it's still very new. And I just find it to be a little bit riskier. All right. What is the worst car brand that you've ever owned? Well, okay, so the worst car brand that I've ever owned, in my opinion, from like mechanical issues, the Maserati Ghibli. That's what I called it. It was the Maserati Ghibli. Everyone here has had some experience like knowing of that vehicle. It was the worst car. Fortunately, I didn't lose a ton on the car because I got it already super cheap. I think MSRP it was like a Q4S. MSRP that thing was $70,000 or $80,000. I bought it for $30,500. So I bought it like relatively pretty cheap. I ended up selling it for like $25,000 or $26,000, and we had it for about 2 to 3 years. So I didn't lose a ton of money, and we got some use out of it. But man, was that car shitty. Now let me explain this. The worst car I've ever lost on, it's actually recently. We took a look. It's not the worst car. It's one of my favorite cars I ever owned, but it's the 2022 Tesla Model X Plaid. I'm probably going to make a separate video on it just because I got absolutely destroyed on that. But the MSRP price that I paid for it that shows on paper is $144,000. It's now worth about $70,000 on a good end. And I mean, the reason that I'm not so bummed about that car is Rachel, my partner, right? I mean, that's the person that drives the car often. We carry our daughter there. It's still one of the safest cars according to, Edmunds safety test. It got a 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite cars to ride in and to drive. It just sucks how much it depreciated. Now looking, right, if you were in the market for a Tesla or for any vehicle, it is a full write-off because it weighs over 6,000 pounds. And now you being able to capture it at maybe $60,000 or $70,000. I have the Model X Plaid, which is the fastest and the quickest. I honestly don't think you need the Plaid. But just to know that you can get that much of a vehicle, it's a write-off, and it's $60,000 to $70,000. I think it's one of the best vehicles I've ever owned. Depreciation-wise, the car fucking sucks. Oh. Sorry. The car sucks. My apologies. Yeah. Oh, man.
It's true.
Yeah.
Free speech.
Yeah, free speech.
Okay.
But they're good deals now.
Yeah, now they're good deals.
Later,
Later, homeboy.
That's what you're trying to say. Is they're good deals now. It's a lot of car.
It's a lot of car for the money, and yeah, and it's a write-off. That's the thing that I mean, it's a double whammy with that. So, what was your worst experience flipping a house or houses? I would say the worst experience is probably like that lawsuit that we went through where we had to sue this like squatter. It was like a crackhead squatter that we had in one of the properties that we bought in Buckeye or Goodyear. I forgot what city it was in. That's probably one of the worst experiences. It was entertaining because we learned a lot throughout the process. And I think through any times that there's challenges like that, it makes things like, yeah, it kind of sucks while you're going through it because it's time and it's effort and it's money. But nonetheless, you are learning a lot along the way, and I think that's really important. So that's probably one of the worst experiences. We still made a good amount of money. We would have made more money if we didn't have to wait 3 months for the crackhead squatter to get out of the property, right? But nonetheless, we still made money. I've had properties where we lost money. We lost like $4,000 or $8,000. I forgot what it was, but those weren't bad experiences. They were just, it was bad timing. So those weren't bad experiences or anything like that. Market just turned on us, and we had to cut losses quick, and that's all. So just want to say that I bought your course about a couple of years ago. I'm in profit now since about 2 years, maximum 1 year, and I can quit my job and do this full time. Thanks, man. Happy to hear that you're doing well, and I mean, congrats to yourself. What brings you more money, trading or real estate? I really like that question because it's been more of a common question that I've been asking myself, especially as the real estate market has slowed down. Let me just put it this way. In the past week and a half, I made more money trading in the past week and a half than I made all year last year flipping houses. I also trade with a lot of money, right? I trade with over $500,000. That's not something that the average person can necessarily do. But I think it puts things into perspective of like the power behind trading if done correctly. With that being said, I don't think that it's one way or the highway. I like being diversified into different markets, and I really enjoy being invested in the real estate market. It's something that I still want to continue to do, but it made me reconsider the idea of how much capital I have allocated in our house flips and those kinds of projects, right? It just makes you more aware of like, holy crap, after all said and done, it took me $400,000 or $500,000 and 60 to 90 days to make this house flip happen. All of the work, all of the workers, all of the construction, and then I walked away with 15, 20K profit. I'm still very grateful for that profit, but I mean, markets were so bullish at the time. I could have thrown $500,000 at Apple stock and I would have made more money. Do you get what I mean? But again, there's a time and a place. It's kind of just like the stock market was in a really good season during that time. And we talked about this as well with my LPP team. The market comes in seasons. There's bullish seasons, there's the bear seasons, right? Just like 2022 was very bearish, very challenging for the average person to make money. 2023 was a bullish year, much easier for the average person to make money. So each year took a different edge. Someone that started trading or investing in 2022, based off of their experience, might have a horrible idea of the market because of what they went through. Someone that started investing or trading in 2023, they're like, what the heck? Why doesn't everyone invest? I made a ton of money, right? It's all based off of seasons and cycles that the market is in. The important part to really understand. So your thought on this Bitcoin ETF stuff? I feel like should we not probably end it with that? So what are your views on the CPI data report tomorrow? We talked about that during today's live trading session, and I don't think, and you let me know in the live chat if you think I'm wrong for this, I don't think the inflation reports are as important as they were 5 or 6 months ago, right? Because 5 or 6 months ago, we were trying to decide, is the Federal Reserve still going to raise interest rates or are they going to pause? Now, more of the idea is the Federal Reserve going to pause or are they going to start cutting interest rates? That's why I don't think it's as important, because now the Federal Reserve has the intention to cut interest rates in 2024, according to what they most recently said. So it's just something to be aware of, where I still think it's important to pay attention to. I'm still going to be live streaming the CPI data report tomorrow, which is 1 hour before the market opens, but I don't think it's going to be as significant of a reaction as it has been in the past before. Do you guys remember that when we would live stream that, the CPI data reports would come out and TQQQ could move 5, maybe even 10% in just a few minutes? It was wild. I don't think we're going to be getting days like those unless it's like a complete surprise. Like if inflation just completely jumps up where now it changes the market sentiment that, oh, we're going to have to raise interest rates again. That's not something that's factored in at all right now. So that would be much of a surprise. But as long as we don't have that, then we should be just fine. Answering that previous question that we got asked about my thoughts on the Bitcoin ETF. I generally don't care. I'm focused on it because I want to know if I want to short the market or if I want to go long with coin. That's literally the only reason I'm paying attention to it. I have no personal thoughts. I mean, if you really look into it, there's a bunch of different, I would say, funds that are trying to create their own version of their Bitcoin ETF. And I think if it does get approved, it just adds another layer of reassurance and security and legitimacy to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin most importantly. I think if it doesn't get approved, this supposed rally that we're going to have in 2024 for Bitcoin is less likely to happen. So those are my thoughts. I know Justin has possibly different opinions. You guys let me know in the live chat what you think. Do you want to share anything?
Yeah. I'll get my 2 cents. Well, you're not as invested in crypto, and you're focused on the stock market more. I've started to try to learn more and more about crypto markets, and the thing is with these ETFs, what's interesting about the entire thing is these ETFs can bring a lot of retail investor money into the crypto market. So strictly from whether you believe in Bitcoin, whether you think Bitcoin is going to be the solution for the dollar, or you believe in any other crypto, or you like XRP or any other crypto, fundamentally looking at the possibility of hundreds of millions of retail investor dollars getting into the market. Just as an investor, you can't completely ignore the upside potential of what something like this can bring to the market.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's like my biggest thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, like we said, it just adds another layer of reassurance that this is a more legit form of either currency or market to potentially trade it, right? The bigger the institutions are, the more that it gets established, the more credibility it gets in bringing more people into the pool. And more people that get brought in, obviously more money gets poured into that market, and the larger it grows. So that's pretty much what you're saying, right?
Just as an investor standpoint, if you're looking for an opportunity to invest in something, and you're taking account to these considerations of what it can do to these other companies like Coin, for example, like something that's involved or could benefit from these ETFs, like as an investor, you can look at that and go, wow, that's pretty impressive,
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if there's any other last minute questions I could answer for you guys. Will you guys be restocking the trading journals anytime soon?
Yeah. Probably within a week.
1 week. You guys heard it here first, according to Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There we go. What's going on, Hannah? Put your mic on the table. Yes, sir. The mustache is back. I don't think it was ever here, but it's here right now. The 5 o'clock shadow, or like Justin liked to call it, the 8 o'clock shadow.
I like it. I think you should grow it out.
It's starting to look more dirty now, so I don't know.
No. You have to get past the dirty state. You got like 3 or 4 more days.
They didn't lie to him that bad.
That's funny.
So for someone who has never taken or has never made any trades, looking to get into it, would you suggest them trying Forex or company stocks to begin with? So I'm obviously very biased with this. I would like to encourage you to trade Forex if that's what you really want to do. I would like to encourage you to trade crypto if that's what you really want to do. The reason that I prefer trading in the market, in the stock market, is because it's more regulated. So in my opinion, which it's just my opinion, I think it's the safer avenue to start with. It doesn't mean that that's where you have to end. But if you want to put your money in a brokerage that's regulated with specific standards to be able to be operated in the US, you know that it's more credible than any offshore account for Forex or crypto that's based out of the Bahamas. Do you know what I mean? So the concept of trading is universal. So whatever you learn from the stock market, if you want to apply to trading crypto or Forex or whatever the case might be, I get it. I can see why you want to possibly trade Forex because of like these Forex funds, or they've become very popular. But I want to remind you, you still need to learn how to do it. So why would you learn how to do something when you're borrowing money from someone else? It just puts more pressure in a market that's already very challenging. So my suggestion for any beginner that really wants to get started is just get started, right? You can open up a paper trading account. We have a get started playlist on my YouTube channel. It's one of the most popular playlists that we have, and it's because it takes you from start to finish on how you can start as a complete beginner, open up a paper trading account, how to buy and sell a stock. Then it shows you one of our live trading sessions. And then after that, we do give you the option, if you want to join our LPP team to be able to watch me trade live every day, you are given that option to explore if you see value. But most importantly, you need to understand that you need to learn how to do something before you have any intention of making money. Just like when you go to school or trying to do anything, you're not going to just start within a few weeks and just get it right away. Especially this market, it is very challenging. And yes, sometimes if you've ever watched my live trading session, it might look easy, but when you watch, I'm not comparing myself, right? But when you watch a professional athlete do what it is that they do, they make it look easy. I almost said LeBron James. I didn't even want to go there. I was about to get roasted. But you know what I mean, right? When you watch someone that has done that for a long period of time over and over again, I mean, I literally do this every day for hours, and I'm far from perfect, right? But I do make it look easier at specific moments that might be stressful or challenging for someone that's just getting started. But at least for me, that is the whole point, right? That is why I created LPP, to be able to watch me trade live, because I learn best by watching other people do, which is exactly the way that I think I would have liked to have been taught. I mean, we have the whole course, right? We have the whole videos that you can learn from, but it's all about the implementation where I think really takes it to the next level. And that's the whole point of our live sessions. And if you're anything like me and you learn best by watching other people do, what better way to start your morning off every morning to watch me trade live? And that's why we created LPP and why it's available. Now, do you need it to learn how to trade? Of course not. Would it be of value for you? Well, that's a question only you can answer. Would it be valuable for you to wake up every morning right at market open and have access to my live trading sessions every day for about 30 minutes to an hour, Monday through Friday? It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. It's the second link in the description right down below, and it's 50% off right now. I'm just giving you a heads up. It's not going to be 50% off for much longer, so if you want to take advantage of it, go ahead. Other than that, I think that's a great way to pretty much end it. Again, tomorrow, CPI data report 1 hour before the market opens. I will be live streaming that for free on our YouTube channel. And I have the intention of live streaming the Bitcoin spot ETF approval or rejection once it's announced? So I want to answer this very clearly, just like I did in my previous video. What would I do if I was a complete beginner and I was waiting for this news to be released? Very simple. I think it's better to be late to a rally than early to a sell-off. And what I mean by this is I would rather be someone that's cash and wait for the market to react so I can choose to either go long or go short. If you enter early, you have a 50-50 chance of being right or wrong. So if that's okay with you, you're an adult, all power to you, do whatever it is that you want. If you want to be more calculated and intentional, remember, the whole point of 2024 is to do something you weren't doing in 2023, to be better, not perfect, but better. So that's my question that I want to leave you with. What are you doing today that's going to benefit your future self that you weren't doing in 2023? So I appreciate you guys tuning on in. Again, we want to continue to host these trading Q&As here at the TechBuds HQ, and maybe even in the future, some of you guys can join us. We're located here in Chandler, Arizona. It's available to every member that's part of LPP. Just don't be a weirdo and send me a direct message before you plan to visit us here.